Today I'm going to do my top tips for surviving at a festival. I have been to 2 festivals in my life, and a lot of people would say that isn't actually many because some people go year on year for most of their life. Most of my friends have been a lot more than I have, but I went to Download Festival when I was 13 or 14 and I went with my mum, her friend and 2 of my friends at the time. And last year I went to Reading Festival when I was 17 and I'm going again this year, which is in a couple of weeks. I know this video is kind of late in the season, so I apologise if this doesn't really help you and you've already been to a festival, but maybe this will help you next year or someone else or whatever. I'm going to insert some pictures now that I took at Reading last year, because if you weren't there then you can sort of see what it was like. As you can see, it was very, very muddy. I spent most of my time in a rain mac. I'm going to do my top 10 tips and I'm doing them backwards, so my best tip or my favourite tip will be last. The first tip I have for you is take dry shampoo and or a headscarf or a hat. Most people don't really want to stand in the lines for the showers because they're usually really long and a lot of people don't really care anyway. So if you take dry shampoo or talcum powder, which works just as well, you just put that in your hair, give it a rub around, brush it out, and your hair is dirty. Don't get me wrong, everyone at festivals is dirty because they haven't washed for 3 or 4 days. But the dry shampoo will stop your hair looking really greasy. Also, the headscarves and the hats will help cover it up. I wore a headscarf quite a lot with my hair up in a bun just because it rained all the time. My hair actually got matted by the time I got home. It was horrible. The next tip I have for you is take a torch. I got there and my torch was broken, so I didn't actually get to use a torch. And most people would say take a torch. I'd say yeah, do take a torch, because if you need to go to the toilet in the night you can sort of navigate your way around the tents and you won't fall over guy ropes. I found that I was okay without a torch, so I wouldn't say it was that necessary, but if you don't want to fall over and be at the risk of hurting yourself on guy ropes, a torch is a good idea. The next tip I have for you is print off the lineup. This is so helpful because it means you will know when all the bands are on, and it also means you don't have to spend money on those silly things that go around your neck with all the lineup on it and the times and all that. There's usually always someone that puts the lineup and the times online, so if you can find it, print it off and take it with you, because it will save you money on those silly neck things that everyone wears. Next tip I have for you is don't try and take glass bottles or glass anything into the festival. Glass will be confiscated before you even enter the grounds. This is a health and safety thing, I assume. I assume you're allowed to do this because people always do it and I don't think they have a problem with it. If you are drinking and you're taking alcohol, put it in plastic bottles and it won't be taken off you. Next tip I have is take an old phone, because I know when I went it was very wet and my phone did get wet. It was in my clothes as well as in my tent, and my tent got absolutely soaked. Also, it means you don't have to worry about knocking it and breaking it, you don't have to worry about losing it. There are some really cheap phones in like Car Phone Warehouse and things like that. I got one for like £3 and then put £10 top up on it, and that's what I take to festivals, and I'm going to take that on holiday with me as well because it doesn't matter if it goes missing. The next tip is take a plastic bottle. This might sound like a really obvious thing, but just take an empty water bottle or take water in it as you arrive, and then obviously you'll drink it so it will become empty. Across the campsites and in the arena they have water stations where you can fill up your water bottle. You're not allowed to take filled bottles into the arena, so they will either ask you to empty it or bin it completely. So if you take in an empty plastic bottle they won't do anything because you can fill it up at the water point. Water bottles are also great if you feel like having a quick shower. Sounds strange, but you can put a little hole in a water bottle and spray it on yourself so you've almost got a shower in a bottle type thing. You can also mix alcoholic drinks in there, so if you're mixing vodka and Coke, something like that, you can do that in a plastic bottle. The next thing is take a rain mac. Obviously if you're going to a festival in a really hot country where it never rains, this is probably useless to you, but I'm from England and I go to Reading and I plan on going to more festivals in the future, and it always rains in England and it's always muddy and disgusting and everyone gets absolutely soaked. Rain macs are so versatile. Okay, they're not the most attractive things, but at a festival everyone's wearing them, so it doesn't really matter how attractive you look. Remember, it's a festival, no one's had a shower in 4 days. With rain mats, you can wear them to keep the rain off you. You can also sit on them in the arena, which I did quite a lot. They also compact into really small like squares or balls that you can just put in a bag or carry around with you. Usually they have like a little string on, so you could maybe attach that to your belt loop or something like that. They are really versatile and really worth taking to a festival, especially if you're in a country where it rains a lot. My next tip is about tents. This is so important. Do not take a one skinned tent. You want a double skinned tent. If you've been camping and you're used to rain, you'll know this. One skin tents do not keep out the rain or bugs, really. They probably claim to, but they don't. We had a one skin tent last year and 3 of us were staying in a 2-man, and it was squashed. I got soaked. Because we were up against the side as well, the water got in even worse. So if you plan on staying dry, take a double skin tent. Also, to do with tents, make sure your guy ropes are pulled tight, because if they're loose then the water is going to sink into your tent. If it's pulled tight, the water will glide off the edges. The next thing is wellies. These are so important at any British festival really, and I would say docks possibly if it's kind of dry, but I took my docks to Reading last year and they just stayed in my tent the whole time because I lived in the wellies. Wellies are great because they keep all the water out, and we were up to our ankles in water at some points. We were slodging through the mud. The toilets are disgusting, so you don't really want to ruin your shoes. Everywhere's muddy, and wellies, you can just pop them on and your feet are dry. If you are going to wear wellies, do remember to wear long socks or jeans or something. That will stop the wellies rubbing on your legs, because a lot of people get blisters from the tops of the wellies rubbing on like your shin area. So my top tip, and this might be quite weird to you, but I absolutely love this tip and it's my favourite thing ever when I go to a festival. It's not really my favourite thing, but it's like my most proud thing that I do at a festival, because I don't know if many people do it. I think they should. So, bin bags. Take bin bags because you can use them for everything. If you've ever been to a festival and you've been to the camping toilets, basically they are just a trough with a lid on it, with a hole in it, and that is where you're supposed to go to the toilet. You look down and it's probably about 15 feet full of everything that you would imagine to come out of a human in a situation like that. It's disgusting, it smells awful. So one way to deal with this is take a bin bag when you go to the toilet with you, put it over the seat, sit on the bin bag so you don't get your bum on dirty seat that's covered in pee and sick and God knows what else. Wee in your bag and drop it. Simple as that. And then off you go. Sorted. You can also use bin bags to put your wellies or your clothes or your bags in when it's raining. We did that last year because our stuff got a bit damp, so we put it in bin bags and it kept it dry. You can also use them to sit on, again a bit like a rain mat. You can sit on them in camping areas or in the arena. Along with bin bags, I'd say take wet wipes. I'd recommend them over toilet roll because they're a bit more hygienic. Because festivals are unhygienic, wet wipes are a bit cleaner and get you a bit fresher than toilet roll. You can also use wet wipes to have a wet wipe shower. You can also use them to take your makeup off if you don't have face wipes, to wash your hands after the toilet. They are really versatile as well. And another little tip, which is part of the last tip, take something to put up your nose when going to the camping toilets. The arena toilets aren't so bad because they're portaloos, but camping toilets are disgusting. Just Google camping toilets at festivals and you'll see what I mean if you haven't been before. You need to know what to expect. And the smell, I have not smelt something worse in my life. So if you're going to a festival, I hope you have an amazing time, and if you're going to Reading and you see me, give me a wave and I'll come say hi. I mean, it's unlikely that I'll see anyone that watches my videos, but if I do, yeah, say hi. I hope you have an amazing time at any festivals you're going to. Thanks for watching, guys.